Hi, I'm John Olson, and welcome to Next Stop from the Rose City. Portland, Oregon is one of the more colorful, vibrant cities in the United States. In fact, it was just named the city for the best food of any city in the world. They also have the most breweries of any city in the country, and we dive into that fact on this episode of Next Stop. We also set sail on the Columbia. We'll introduce you to some of the colorful locals, and we feature Floater, a band that absolutely rocked the house. The fun starts now. Beer is a culture in Portland. It's not just a drink. In fact, it's been dubbed Beervana by beer enthusiasts from all over the world, and for good reason. Portland has more breweries than any other city in the country. Let's explore this further at the Widmer Oktoberfest. To be joined by two of the fathers of Portland breweries, the city with the most breweries in the country. Take us back to the 70s, Kurt and Rob. What was going on in your world that made you want to get into beer?
We were homebrewers, strictly homebrewers in the 70s, so no aspirations to take it beyond homebrewing.
Now, you went to Germany for a couple of years.
I did. I lived in Germany in the mid-70s.
Tell us about that. What'd you learn?
Actually living there and in it for a couple of years, I came to appreciate where beer actually fits in the great scheme of things.
So then you came back to Portland, and you convinced your brother to quit what he was doing and join you, right?
Well, when I came back, that's when we started homebrewing. We both started doing that. We did that for about 5 years.
Coincidentally, we weren't under the same roof, or that was serendipity, is that we both started homebrewing about the same time.
So look at this today. Would you ever dream back in the late 70s, early 80s that you'd have something like this today?
No, an event like this, it's so great. I mean, this is Portland. There's a reason why Portland is the #1 beer city in the whole Western Hemisphere.
So when you think of Oktoberfest, especially when you spell it with a K, you think of Germany. Constance is from Germany. We found her. She actually found us. Willkommen. So Oktoberfests are a big deal in Germany. What do you think of our little Oktoberfest here?
I really love it. It's like very cool and it's bigger than I expected.
Is it bigger than you expected?
It's really bigger than I expected.
Now, how about the beer? How do you like the beer compared to German beer?
It depends. Like if you drink the pills and stuff, it's very similar to the German stuff. But I know people, like my friends, they drink very hoppy beer, which is different and a little bit stronger.
Question for you on Portland trivia. How did Portland get its name?
I think it's a very simple question.
It is a simple question. It was either by a guy named Port, it was a coin flip, or it was from a sea captain who was in here on port.
Coin flip.
Are you sure?
Flip.
Yeah.
You're correct. How many different beers are there in Portland?
A lot.
Yeah, I know a lot, but how many do you think?
More than enough.
Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Heck yeah!
I would say 20 or 30.
I would say 28.
You win 351.
Oh, wow. 300.
Outside is rock and rolling right now, but Rob brought me inside to this special room to taste some special beers out of special glasses. Yep. We were talking about that. When you drink wine, you drink Pinot out of a nice Pinot glass, or Cabernet out of a Cabernet glass. Most people don't think about drinking beer out of the right glass.
With craft beers, there is so much nuance that if you drink out of a bottle, it's really kind of like plugging your nose and eating something. You know, you're gonna miss a lot.
Yeah.
So this is a German beer from a town called Goslar. This is called a Gose. It's very low alcohol, so this is a great daily session style beer. This uses a hop called Citra hop, which has a grapefruit character. And so we decided, well, okay, that's good, but why don't we add some grapefruit rind to this beer? So this has a very grapefruity character.
It totally does.
Pretty typical Pacific Northwest IPA. Hops are grown right here. Most of this character is from this hop.
Native Oregonians like to boast they never use an umbrella. What they mean is they rarely use an umbrella because after all, what's a little rain anyway? And when it does rain, it's usually a light mist. Portland only gets 38 inches of rain annually, less than New York City. So it's pretty safe to say when you come to Portland, you can leave your umbrella at home. But if you need one, just come down to Pioneer Square. This guy's got one for you. Coming up on Next Stop, we take a stroll through downtown Portland with Mayor Sam Adams, and we'll introduce you to some colorful locals at a neighborhood festival. Portland, Oregon has the largest wooded city park in America, Forest Park, covering over 5,000 square acres. It also has the smallest park in the world, Mill Ends Park, created in 1948 on St. Patrick's Day to be the only leprechaun colony west of Ireland. Might explain why Portland has a killer St. Patrick's Day festival, one I always like to attend. This park makes me feel big. Portland is truly one of the most vibrant cities in the country. Lots of changes, lots of growth. Who better to talk about the growth than the Honorable Mayor of Portland, Sam Adams?
Hi, John. How are you?
Welcome to Next Stop.
I'm glad to be here.
What a beautiful city. What a beautiful Pioneer Square. Tell us about this place. This is the center of the city, right?
Yeah, this is Pioneer Courthouse Square, is known as the living room for Portland. And right behind us, the Decemberists are getting ready to play at one of our annual music concerts here in the square.
Now, you guys have lots of things happening here in the square year-round, right?
Yeah, rain or shine, there's something going on here in Portland's living room, Pioneer Square.
How is Portland changing right now? There's lots of growth happening. Some of the streets are kind of torn up, but it's all for good reasons.
That's right. We've got a whole new extension of our streetcar. We're about to break ground on an extension of light rail. The other big changes in Portland is that we're becoming a more diverse city, racially, ethnically, and I think that's great. I think it makes us a more interesting, a stronger city, more creative city.
Portland was just voted the #1 food city, not just in the Northwest, not just in the U.S., in the world.
Our food cart scene is really grassroots. It started on its own. We have about 500 food carts in the city of Portland.
So you're #1 in beer, #1 in food. We've tried the beer, but we haven't tried the food.
Wait till you try it.
Let's go. It's lunchtime.
All right.
So this is pretty much where it all started.
This is exactly where it all started. And as you can see, the focus is on the food, not necessarily the furnishings or the surroundings.
That's great, though. And now this food cart, I understand, won the most exotic food cart in Portland, which would mean the most exotic food cart in the world, right?
This is a fantastic food cart, and I recommend the You Can Has It cheeseburger.
It is a quarter-pound Black Angus burger. It's in between 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as buns. It comes with fresh lettuce, tomato, grilled onions. Fatty melt is what's famous around the country, and this is just kind of our take on it here in Portland. Sam, John, You Can Have cheeseburgers. All right.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that's good. That is a burger to die for.
I cannot think of a more beautiful day to visit downtown Portland. The food carts come in all shapes and sizes. We have a pretty pink one here.
Very pink.
And we got Big A sandwiches. Now I understand this place has a sandwich named after you.
Ah, it's true, and it's quite a sandwich from what I've heard. I've never actually had the opportunity to taste it until today.
You haven't?
No, I'm so
You're doing
happy
it on
to
Next
be
Stop.
here.
Hey, how are you? Pleasure. Good to see you. Pleasure. So Sam and I were debating Big A sandwiches with 2 asterisks. I'm thinking it stands for Ash, since the Ash Street Saloon's across the street.
It's art, right? Big art sandwiches.
Big sandwiches.
Ash.
Sandwiches.
Hey. So speaking of big sandwiches, you guys have the Sam app?
We do.
What's on that?
Ham, turkey, Miracle Whip on our ciabatta roll.
How did you guys get into this business?
We wanted to open a restaurant, but economically, this was a little smarter. Big ass Mayor Adams.
Oh, thank you.
There you are, sir. You guys have a really good thing going on with food, beer, wine here in Portland. This is fun. And your sandwich, these guys did you right.
This is a good sandwich. Thank you, Big A sandwich.
You can't say the word.
No.
When you're done with all the food carts, you can head down to Voodoo Donuts, seen on the Food Network, seen all over the place.
You can get a donut that's designed to look like dirt, and another one that has, all kinds of, I don't know, you'll have to check it out.
I see Keep Portland Weird all over the city.
That's right.
Portland is a wonderful city. What's the Keep Portland Weird thing all about?
It's really, Portland is a place where you can be who you are. And whether that's weird to other people, here in Portland, we embrace that.
Like this guy here. Elvis Presley lives in Portland, Oregon, everybody.
He has not left the building.
Portland Portland is a city made up of many diverse neighborhoods. The Alberta district is one of the more colorful neighborhoods. Every last Thursday of every month, they celebrate Last Thursday all up and down Alberta Street. Tonight, we also celebrate the opening of the Alberta Rose Theatre. Go inside the theater and enjoy the sights and sounds of March 4th Marching Band, the pride of Portland.
Group of us got together actually on Alberta, just a few blocks down the street. Had a meeting, put the band together for a Fat Tuesday party. Oddly enough, when we tour, we try to keep it around 20, but we have about 30-something people in the band.
Well, this was awesome tonight. You guys, the crowd loved you. You christened the theater. What do you think about this place? Brand new venue.
I really like it. I've been living basically 2 blocks from here for about 11 years.
No kidding.
So I've been watching. This place was a church forever, and been sort of watching it. And all of a sudden, it's now a venue, and I'm really excited because there's really no proper venues on this street. So.
We have kind of designed the place to be able to do live theater plays, dance, live music, and soon we're going to install a screen and video projection, and we're going to be able to do movies.
Last Thursday on Alberta Street was definitely one of the more eclectic events we've ever attended. Portland is loaded with live performance venues, and the Alberta Rose Theatre, christened tonight, is a great place to be entertained. If you come to Portland, come on the last Thursday of the month and come to Alberta Street. I guarantee you an experience of a lifetime. Coming up, Portland's vibrant floating home community, and we set sail on the mighty Columbia River with new friends. Portland, Oregon's TriMet is one of the most sophisticated light rail and bus transportation systems in the country. Its MAX, or Metropolitan Area Express, connects downtown Portland with several surrounding areas. And if you're a business traveler to Portland, you can take the MAX right from PDX to downtown Portland and back. It's very safe, it's very convenient, and very affordable. Living on the water is a lifestyle for thousands of Portlanders. There's about a half a dozen communities. I've always been intrigued by this lifestyle, so today we get to learn about it. We're also going to set sail on the Columbia with some new friends. It's a gorgeous day on the river, and it's a great way and a great day to make new friends.
Hi.
Kate, Tom, Shell, what's it like to live on the water? I've always been intrigued. I've always wanted to, but I never have.
Different than on land for sure. One thing is you're very close to your neighbors, and
you better like them.
To a neighbor, you better like them. You better. Well, I mean, you do need to be social.
It's such a community. I mean, you really are. There's 71 homes down here, and you're family. I mean, you're 2 feet away from your neighbors. We're at the bottom of the ramp. There's only one way in and out. Someone goes out of town and they're like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for a couple of weeks, walk my dog, take care of my cats, water my plants. I mean, we're so intertwined. It's so beyond a community. It really is a family.
Really great to be able to step out off your deck and go boating. And I think most people who live on the water love the water and love to boat, and most people have boats, and that's kind of what draws them down here. To us, that's really what it is all about, is being able to have access all the time to the water. At a spur of a moment, if you want to go out on it, you can.
And away we go. This is nice. Tell me about the neighborhood.
This is our neighborhood. When we take our friends around to see our neighborhood, we take them up the channel in our boat. When you live on the water, this is your neighborhood. It's a little water world.
How long you been here, Eric?
I've lived here for 4 years in a floating home. I've been in Portland for 20-some years. Seattle before that. Seattle's where I learned to sail.
Where are we going today, Eric? What are we doing?
Well, we're going to head out the North Portland Channel, which is what we're in right now, and then we are going to head up the river, put some sails up, and it's a perfect day out there. The wind is just right for sailing, and as you can see, maybe 3 clouds in the sky. Okay guys, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn the boat into the wind. That will allow us to raise our mainsail. I'm going to send Jacob up to the mast. He's going to do what's called jumping the halyard. And John, you're going to actually be down here on the winch, coffee grinding it up.
So I love the terminology in sailing. Lots of different terminology for you to get used to. What's this thing called?
This is the mast.
And what's that bar over there called?
This is the boom.
We've got a boom. That's our boom right there. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that your boom is more useful than our boom. Wondered what it was like to live on the water, and now we know. It's a lifestyle I could definitely get a hold of. We had a great time. We met some new friends, went sailing. We're ending here at the Island Cafe right on the water. I like it. You guys have a good thing going on here in Portland. Portland has one of the best live music scenes in the country, so stick around for our featured band, Floater. Music scene is off the charts, one of the best in the country, and Floater tonight absolutely rocked one of the best live music venues, the Crystal Ballroom. Three guys bringing that kind of sound to the stage. Who writes your music? Because your new CD tonight, we heard, it's fantastic. It's awesome. Everything you guys do is great.
Thank you. Wow. You know, it's pretty collaborative, really. I mean, sometimes I'll come in with a whole song that I think is done, and then these guys will play it and they'll go, you know, it would be better like this, and then it is. And then sometimes we don't even have a starting point, and we just start kind of throwing ideas out and they stick, and you know, it's there's an element of like that. You know how when the chefs will just throw noodles at the wall?
Sure. See what sticks.
See what sticks.
We do a lot of that, like, hey, that one works.
Yeah.
This thing, what falling night will bring.
Portland music because, I think most viewers watching around the country right now are not probably really privy to Portland music scene. This is a thriving, bumping music scene. Why Portland, Oregon?
It's crazy.
Why do you think?
I mean, what blows me away, you go out on tour, and you could be in a city that is 12 million, and there are fewer clubs to play in than there are in a city like Portland that's 2 million. And you find yourself going, why are you 6 times larger in terms of population, but there's so little happening here, and you come to Portland and there's this sort of bizarre like renaissance of, it's incredible.
Because you wish you were tougher than you are. No, you don't know the pain, but you understand. Are you ever gonna take it as far as you're afraid to go?
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Next Stop from the gorgeous Rose City of Portland, Oregon. You guys have to check this place out. We met some great people. What a beautiful city. Thanks also to our show sponsors, Alaska Airlines, award-winning Alaska Airlines, and Widmer Brothers Brewing Company. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody.
He's going to do what's called jumping the halyard. And John, you're going to actually be down here on the winch, coffee grinding it up.
I get to play with the winch?
You get to play with the winch.
It's not the first time.
And we obviously like sharing each other, physically, mentally, whatever.
Sharing each other physically? Well, that's not this kind of show. We'll have to talk about that later.
Family production.